From the moment dawn breaks, the hum of life reminds us of society's constant demands and overwhelming pressure to care about every trivial detail. In a world that glorifies relentless achievement and unyielding connectivity, I question if caring too deeply is worth the steep emotional toll it demands. Today, I begin my journey by asking a bold question. Why should I stop giving a fuck about everything? Standing at the crossroads of personal freedom and societal expectations, I face an inner battle that has long troubled my soul. Every day, messages urge me to excel in every aspect of life. Yet this relentless pursuit often leaves me feeling disconnected from my true self. I remember times when I strove for perfection, and the pressure of crowded streets and looming deadlines became almost unbearable. In quiet moments of introspection, I wonder if letting go of needless concern might reveal a clearer path to authenticity and inner peace. This narrative is not a plea for apathy, but a call to reconsider how we invest our energy in the ever-demanding maze of life. What if, by caring less about trivial pressures, we could embrace a life marked by creative freedom and genuine connection? In the gentle unfolding of this tale, I invite you to witness a transformation, a shift from the unyielding need to please towards rediscovering the wonder of simply being. I ask you to reflect on your own journey, to question the value of selfishly holding tight to expectations that drain rather than nourish. By choosing to care less, we reclaim our strength, our clarity, and our capacity for living a life rich in genuine experience. Let this story spark a revolution within, one that frees us from the endless cycle of stress and reminds us that sometimes less truly is more. Growing up, I absorbed the unspoken lessons of a society that prized perfection and achievement above all else. My childhood was steeped in routines that celebrated success, where every mistake was met with disapproval and every triumph was magnified. In school, academic achievement was not merely an expectation, but a measure of personal worth that influenced every decision. I often found myself mired in the belief that failure was unacceptable, and success a relentless obligation, a notion drilled into me from an early age. It was in this charged atmosphere that I encountered Alex, a figure who symbolized the archetypal response to such intense conditioning. Alex, representing the average person molded by a rigid system, navigated school corridors and corporate hallways with an air of feigned confidence. Every performance, every accolade, was a reminder that our worth was measured not in our passions, but in our ability to conform. Family expectations, combined with media portrayals of success, reinforced a constant pressure to achieve and a fear of disappointing those who believed in us. My early career was marked by opportunities and pressures that echoed the lessons of my youth, each experience further entrenching the idea that criticism was a threat to self-worth. This relentless social conditioning planted seeds of self-doubt and anxiety, ultimately shaping a worldview that equated constant effort with definitive success. I now see that every lesson from childhood and every expectation imposed by society has cumulatively woven a tapestry of pressures that many, like Alex, continue to endure. These formative experiences not only defined my past, but also instilled a lingering question about the true value of relentless striving. Even as I learned to navigate the expectations, I began to sense an inner yearning for freedom from this constant barrage of judgment and pressure. In retrospect, my past, intertwined with the pressures of external validation, still lingers as both a memory and a cautionary tale. Thus, reflecting on my upbringing and the pervasive influence of cultural expectations, I recognize the subtle, lasting impact of social conditioning on my every thought and action. I remain aware of truth. Inside, a raging storm of conflicting emotions battles for control, each thought a reminder of the high price paid for constant caring. In my quiet moments, I face a mirror reflecting not just my physical self, but layers of doubt, guilt, and exhaustion. Each heartbeat echoes with the weight of expectations imposed by both society and my own inner critic. I often find my thoughts clashing like titanic forces, one side fueled by a desire for recognition and the other by an instinct for self-preservation. Memories of overwhelming duties and missed opportunities rush in unbidden, turning my mind into a battlefield of regret and hesitation. There are nights when silence magnifies the internal discord, and every fleeting moment whispers a reminder of choices not made. A sense of isolation seeps into my consciousness as I grapple with the futility of seeking validation from forces beyond my control. In these moments, my inner world becomes a labyrinth of emotions where every corridor is shadowed by self-doubt and every turn harbors a whisper of fear. I interrogate my thoughts, questioning whether relentless caring has ever led to genuine fulfillment or only to a prolonged state of inner turmoil. In the dead of night, when the world is shrouded in silence, the cacophony of my internal conflicts grows unbearable. I feel as though I am suspended between the demands of an unforgiving past and the uncertainty of an uncharted future. Every internal struggle is a silent scream for balance, a desperate attempt to reconcile the part of me that longs for acceptance with the part that craves liberation. I carry the burden of caring too much as an invisible weight upon my chest, a constant reminder of the sacrifices made in the name of responsibility. Slowly, the reader within me begins to question the justification for this relentless inner conflict, seeking solace in moments of clarity. Yet amidst the turmoil, a faint ember of hope persists, urging me to embrace my vulnerabilities as steps toward true liberation. This internal dialogue, raw and unfiltered, serves as both a battleground and a wellspring of introspection. In each passing hour, my soul wrestles with these profound dilemmas, seeking not perfection, but rather a gentle reconciliation between desire and reality. The internal struggle is a testament to my journey, a complex fusion of fear, longing, and the constant pursuit of self-discovery. I endure, trusting that peace will prevail. On a bustling afternoon, as the city hummed with its usual clamor, I encountered a presence that instantly disrupted my inner monotony. In the mosaic of urban life, I saw Alice, a figure exuding calm confidence and an undeniably relaxed aura. Her gaze, steady and untroubled, suggested a depth of understanding that contrasted sharply with my own turbulent reflections. I noticed as she moved, her steps measured and deliberate, as if each stride defied the weight of conventional expectations. In that moment, the chaotic noise of the city faded into a soft murmur, and the world seemed to narrow around our encounter. The gentle, almost imperceptible smile on her face hinted at a life lived with fewer burdens and a freer spirit. I felt compelled to observe her, drawn by the subtle magnetism of her unhurried existence. In that brief encounter, the external world and my inner struggles converged, opening a window to an unfamiliar realm of calm acceptance. As I continued on my path, the encounter with Alice lingered like a soft melody amidst the clamor of daily life. Her brief presence was a catalyst that stirred in me a renewed curiosity for living authentically. In the swirl of my thoughts, I began to imagine a life less burdened by the need for constant validation. That afternoon, Alice became more than just an intriguing figure. She transformed into a symbol of a possibility I had long forgotten: to live with a lighter heart. In the quiet aftermath of our encounter, I felt an undeniable shift in my perspective, as if the whispers of my suppressed dreams were finally beginning to speak. The brief interlude with Alice allowed me to momentarily escape the relentless demands of a life overburdened by expectation. In that single encounter, the subtle power of nonchalance shone through, inviting me to reconsider the very foundation upon which my struggles were built. Encounter etched deep in my memory. One crisp evening, a transformational moment unfolded that would alter the course of my inner journey. In the quiet solitude of a serene park, away from the city's relentless clamor, I found myself at the precipice of change. The twilight cast long shadows that danced silently upon the ground, echoing the internal uncertainties I had long harbored. It was in this reflective atmosphere that I encountered Jordan, a reserved figure exuding a quiet wisdom and gentle resolve. Jordan's presence was unassuming, yet every gesture spoke volumes about a life that had embraced its imperfections. As I sat quietly on a weathered bench beneath ancient trees, Jordan shared a simple truth without uttering a single word. In that moment, the chaotic noise of self-doubt began to recede, replaced by a profound calmness that I had never experienced before. Jordan's silent wisdom became a mirror reflecting my own vulnerabilities and the futility of my previous struggles. That evening, as the sky blushed with the hues of dusk, I realized that change was not a sudden phenomenon, but a gradual unfolding. I sensed a turning point within, a soft shift that dismantled the rigid walls built by years of relentless self-criticism. In that pivotal instant, I felt the burden of perpetual anxiety begin to lift, replaced by a liberating sense of possibility. The words of wisdom shared by Jordan resonated deeply within me, urging a transformation that felt both inevitable and profoundly personal. In the gentle murmur of the evening breeze, I found clarity in the idea that accepting imperfection was the first step toward genuine self-empowerment. I emerged from that night with a renewed resolve to question the norms that had long confined me. My meeting with Jordan ignited a spark within, illuminating a path to a future crafted by my own choices. In this turning point, every step forward felt like a quiet rebellion against the heavy weight of conformity. I embraced the possibility of change with an open heart, eager to redefine my understanding of self-worth. Under the soft glow of the evening lights, that single conversation with Jordan became a turning point that reshaped the narrative of my life. In that extraordinary moment, every doubt and fear began to dissolve, replaced by a serene determination that promised a brighter tomorrow. With fresh clarity, I stepped into the night, ready to weave my destiny from threads of rebirth with resolve. In the wake of that transformative encounter, I began to explore the liberating art of caring selectively. At work, I discovered that prioritizing what truly mattered allowed me to relinquish constant pressure and embrace a more balanced approach. I started setting boundaries, learning to say no when demands threatened to overwhelm my fragile sense of self. Even in social settings, I learned to gracefully detach from conversations that echoed with superficialities. In moments of personal downtime, I reveled in the joy of doing nothing, finding solace in the simplicity of quiet moments. I began to see that letting go of unnecessary worries freed up space for genuine creativity and unexpected joys. Daily routines transformed as I replaced anxiety with mindful moments of reflection and gratitude. I embraced spontaneity, allowing myself to deviate from the strict confines of a carefully planned schedule. Leisure moments at a local cafe or during a quiet walk in nature slowly became rituals of rejuvenation. I noticed an inner light kindling within me, a soft glow that grew with each act of deliberate detachment. Relationships deepened as I engaged more authentically, unburdened by the need for all-encompassing approval. Even simple acts like a shared laugh or a knowing glance transformed into profound affirmations of genuine connection. As days turned into weeks, I steadily pieced together a new life, defined not by constant worry, but by the freedom of detachment. This evolving state of being allowed me to rediscover passions once buried beneath layers of incessant doubt. I welcomed the gentle art of nonchalance, finding that it opened doors to new adventures and a deeper sense of self. Every day I noticed that relinquishing the need to worry paved the way for unexpected moments of bliss. I savored the newfound freedom like a rare and precious gift, motivating me to embrace life with open arms. This liberation was not devoid of moments of lingering uncertainty, but it was a conscious choice to honor my well-being. Through a series of small, deliberate actions, I gradually transformed my life into one of purposeful serenity. In the embrace of nonchalance, I found a quiet power that redefined my very existence. Every sunrise and sunset became a silent ode to the freedom of being, a daily reminder that life is best experienced when unburdened by relentless expectations. I celebrated each simple moment with heartfelt gratitude and unwavering resolve beyond all measure. As the journey comes full circle, I stand at the threshold of a new understanding, having stripped away the layers of undue concern. Reflecting on the myriad encounters with Alex, Alice, and Jordan, I see how each interaction has been an essential part of my metamorphosis. Every lesson learned and every painful misstep gradually gave way to a world where the art of selective caring brought solace and strength. I now realize that true empowerment lies not in the frantic quest for approval, but in the liberating act of letting go. In embracing a life of measured indifference, I rediscovered the joy that often hides behind societal expectations. My transformation was not instantaneous, but a gradual evolution marked by moments of revelation and subtle acts of defiance. I now choose quality over quantity in my emotional investments, nurturing a spirit that champions authenticity over approval. Every day, I remind myself that the power to be truly free resides in the courage to care less and live more. In this quiet revolution of the heart, I have learned to see vulnerability as a doorway to genuine connection. The journey has taught me that letting go is not surrender, but a deliberate act of reclaiming one's peace. I look back with gratitude at the chapters of struggle, knowing that each trial paved the way for my present freedom. This reflective moment is a silent call to those still shackled by the burdens of relentless expectations. May this narrative inspire you to question, to release, and ultimately to embrace a path where the warmth of genuine living outshines the chill of indifference. I conclude this journey with a heart unburdened by needless worries and a spirit rekindled by the simple truth that to live is to be free. In the end, each of us holds the power to redefine our narrative and step into a life colored by authenticity and serene indifference. This reflective wrap-up is both a farewell to old burdens and an invitation to embrace the beauty of a simpler, more genuine way of being. Let this be the clarion call to free your mind and live with the serene assurance that comes from truly caring less. In quiet reflection, I honor the journey and embrace endless horizons that lie ahead.